Okay, cool. So everybody else actually went. There's like 4 more people that actually are signed up, but you know, they may come in when they come in. I was telling people for this Aries Full Moon, I'm kind of got to give you what's happening astrologically today, what's going to be happening 3 days from now when the full moon hits. And I can also give you like 2 weeks in advance for a little bit of a forecast for what is coming on the next new moon, which is going to be more like November 4th. And that's going to be a moon in Scorpio. So I'll kind of give you like the lineup from today, the new moon, the one in Scorpio. Before I do that, Amanda, I wanted to just check in with like everybody had win already. What's one of your small wins? What's a way that you won small today that just made you feel like, yes, like I'm doing it, like I'm proud, I'm happy, I'm moving forward, like I'm loving myself, whatever it is.
Today?
Any day, just the thing that comes to mind. Okay. Like, something that you didn't get to share yet, a win you didn't share with anybody yet.
I got to spend really good quality time with my daughter this weekend.
All right.
And I was able to keep up with most of her energy.
Ooh. So Jay, we got another Libra right here.
Hey, Libra gang. Libra
gang.
Libra gang. And side note, it is Jay's birthday. This is the 3rd birthday in a year that I've actually somehow, the other 2 birthdays, I was actually with him in person in different countries in the world. And this is the 3rd one. Now I'm actually with him again, ironically, on a video call, which is just
awesome. Happy
just like
birthday.
Happy birthday.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So let's check in. All right, today you're here because you want to learn how to work with your chakra energy, all right, your sacral chakra. And to do that, for starters, I want to show you how can you find it so you know where. I want you to take your belly button, all right, take 4 fingers, put the bottom of your 4th finger at the top of your belly button or just right on top of it, and you'll notice that right here, or you may not actually notice, but I'm telling you, 4 fingers from your belly button is where your sacral chakra lies, all right, right here. This is the orange chakra point. It's also why I kind of have some ambar sitting underneath my shirt. Ambar, any orange stone, any yellow crystals, orange crystals, they help to charge that area. Now, what is the sacral chakra? Why might you even want that charged? For starters, this is where your sexual energy lies, right? This is also the space that is, at least in the chakra system, people call it chi, they call it prana, they call it chakras. Like, depending on your culture, every culture has a form of this. They just call it what they call it. So the sacral chakra is really where our relationships are formed, and is where the traumas sit from the relationships that we've had. And Amanda, this is actually ironic. I got a quick message talking about, yep, doing the kid thing, and I'll be on as soon as the kid comes up. So that's funny. But yeah, so it's the orange chakra is also the space where these relationships that we may not have grieved, these relations that may have ended and we didn't grieve them, or this also works into sex, right? So any sexual traumas would be, this energy would store here as well as in the hips, all right? Any trauma with the relationship with your parents, the relationship with loved ones, the relationship, the betrayal you may have felt from a coworker or boss. This particular orange sacral chakra is responsible for our relationships, and it gets out of balance when we don't find outlets, primarily creative outlets, to get our stress moving and out of the body. All right, just to kind of give you like, what is the sacral chakra? What is the sexual energy that we're going to be transmuting? And why would we want to move it? One, obviously your sex life suffers, or we continue to find ourselves in like karmic patterns, potentially chasing lust, potentially chasing the image of who we idealistically believe is the one for us. And mind you, this isn't just in romance or relationships and love, right? This is the ideal image of what we think our parents are. You know, like, I mean, I can attest that I thought my parents were somebody different than what they actually were from when I was younger until within the last year or so. I've been able to slowly start to change what my perspective of how I was raised or what that looked like. And all of this is the stuff that sits in that sacral orange chakra. When we don't take the time to forgive, we don't take the time to grieve, like we've had that relationship from 2 years ago and we just kept moving forward and we're like, I've had this happen myself and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like boom, 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 doing all these different things 2 years later. But then somehow they like just pop back in the mind and it's like something's telling me like, yo, something's not finished with this. So the orange chakra is what suffers there. And the sad part about this is it's also the place where pleasure is experienced. All right. It's also a place where joy is expressed. So when we don't forgive any certain relationships, which has to do more with the heart chakra, it affects the lower levels, which is the heart chakra is a little bit more up here. The lower levels are down where I told you, those 4 fingers. It affects those chakras and it begins to still our joy. It begins to make us feel like our flame is out because this chakra has a lot to do with like your inner flame, like what makes you feel excited to live and to be alive and to love and to relate with others and just everything. And of course, this actually counts sex as well. Like this is where this chakra energy right here is exactly where the energy that we draw from to create a baby. And this is what I like to always remind people. This is exactly the energy that we use to create a baby. So now consider this. Consider that you didn't heal any of this relationship stuff. Let's consider you didn't, your business partner that betrayed you, you never found a way to forgive yourself for allowing the deception. And then now let's say theoretically you had a child. This is part of the hatred that is transferring to your seed. Or let's say on the opposite side, you found ways to express yourself through art and through singing and just do whatever brings you joy and pleasure. And you found that to be balanced and you had a child. It's going to be if a parent knew this, let's just say, they're more likely going to be like, yeah, I want to give my kid a fucking head start. I want to give them a head start. Like, I don't want them to come in the world already trapped and stuck in the things that I didn't choose to forgive or grieve with my parents or with my ex-boyfriend or with that guy that cheated on me. Like it happened. This is something where the beauty is we get to move forward from here. And there's no point where you can just you can kill it. You can't just kill it, but it can be very, very low. And one of the things that lowers your sacral chakra, honestly, is ejaculation. If you ejaculate, whether with a person, with yourself, and you don't give enough time in between to recover, like I can speak for guys specifically, one ejaculation takes away about 4 days of energy. Now, by day 4, day 3, you have a lot more, but day 1, you're feeling like completely gassed and exhausted. You're like, you can't be clear. Your positive masculine energy goes out the window. Your clarity goes out. Your ability to create structures in your business, your life, and your relationships goes out. You're more receptible to illusions, which can be an ideal of how I look at a parent or how I look at a relationship or girlfriend. You begin to get very foggy in the mind. So this today is why we're going to use our breath to check in on the levels that our chakra is currently at. This particular one, and I'm going to do this on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm going to walk you through that. It's also we're going to be able to learn how to recharge this energy today. All right, when we know it's low, we're going to be able to learn how to recharge it on our own, and we're going to learn how to move it up our spine. So, like I was saying before, when we kick it out of our body through form of ejaculation, let's just say, or even being hedonistic. When I say hedonistic, what I'm saying is like chasing pleasures, which doesn't have to be sex at all. This can be gambling, right? The thrill of gambling. This can be a trauma bond in a relationship you have with somebody that you were trauma bonded with. Not really a healthy relationship, but you were bonded with them through your trauma and their trauma, gravitating and making you to stick, but then you get stuck in these healthy relationships. This can be the chase for the emotional highs that gives, right? That brings pleasure at a really, really quick, this 4-month boom relationship. And then out of nowhere, it just crashes down and you're like, what the fuck happened? So we're gonna learn how to really recharge this, and we're gonna learn how to use the breath to, instead of kicking it out, which lowers our energy, we're going to learn how to bring it up our spine, literally. So from that orange chakra to the yellow solar plexus chakra, up to the heart, and the green chakra, up to the throat, which is like the Vishuddha, in Sanskrit, which is the throat chakra, to the third eye, which we've more commonly heard. This is like your imagination, also where your pineal gland sits. And then you have the crown, which is pretty much outside of you, outside of your body, right? Which is kind of like just understanding, like through and through, you just like, this is the stage of enlightenment that people talk about that they want to get to. I want to be enlightened. That's kind of where the crown chakra happens, where like things just make sense. You begin to stop stressing, you begin to stop having illusions and so much more. So here's what we're going to do. For starters, I'm going to have you take your hands up like this. And I want you to begin to literally shake your hands. All right. So what happens is, think about how much work you do with your hands and your wrists, right? You're typing all day, you're on your phone, you're texting. There's a lot of energy already trapped in there. Once you bring them up over your head, back down to your chest. Okay, cool. Now, we're gonna start one off, and then I'll give you the update. I'm gonna have you put your left hand and your right hand on top of each other. I think this is the point where it helps if you happen to stand. Now, I'm gonna do this in slow motion first before I close my eyes and join in with you, but I wanna have you follow along with me as I go through this, all right? So when I'm gonna start here, I'm gonna have you learn to concentrate your energy. But when I go through the movement, this is more demonstration. I'm gonna have you split your hands, there's a little space in between. And I want you to kind of feel the energy, the electricity in your fingers. And I want you to begin to bring it up. And notice it kind of starts to make this V shape. And this will kind of be when your inhale is coming. And then we're gonna slowly allow ourselves to turn it. And this is gonna be our exhale. Now I want you to imagine you're just grabbing air, just oxygen. You're grabbing oxygen in your hands. Some of it's gonna slip out, but it's abundant. So you don't have to worry about it slipping out. And this is your inhale. And that abundant air is inhaling through your nose. And then we're gonna keep our mouths closed and we're gonna exhale through our nose. So this is the inhale. You're grabbing all that oxygen. It's so much, it's just slipping out your hand, but it's okay because you're gonna get all the rest. Beautiful. All right, cool. So that was the beginning, right? The only thing we're going to focus on from there, and we're going to go through a sequence of that maybe for like 3 minutes, all right? The only thing we're going to focus on now is when you inhale through your nose, I want you to allow your belly to literally begin to expand. So as I inhale, as I exhale, as I inhale, and this takes time, it takes practice. As I exhale, what you're gonna find is when you inhale, naturally, we've been trained to reverse breathe, which is really bad for your health. What you're gonna find is when you try to open your belly, you're almost gonna wanna exhale. Fight that resistance, fight that urge, and just remember my voice and say, okay, inhale equals belly goes open. And it won't open on its own because there's a lot of contraction and we like to keep ourselves looking skinnier than we actually are. And so what we do is we suck in all day, every day. So you almost have to push your belly open. Like you literally have to push it open on your inhale. But what you'll notice is you'll get about 33% more oxygen coming in, which will give you that high, that mental high, but it's just a natural high. We're gonna do this for about 3 minutes. And then I just want you to follow along with me. There's gonna be more steps to the movement, but for now, just follow along with me. It's a form of Tai Chi. So start here. If you feel comfortable now, you can begin to close your eyes. And in your palms, I want you to imagine an orange light. Just a bright orange light, just neon bright orange. And this is going to represent your sacral chakra. Everything we talked about, where all of your joy lies, all of your passion, your fun, and your vigor for life. And I want you to consider on a scale of 1 to 10, One being this chakra is completely dead and it's just not charged. I'm not feeling joy. I'm not really smiling. My pleasures are misaligned with my values, and I'm just out of the game. I feel drained. I feel weak. 5 is somewhere in the middle where I'm más o menos, more or less. I'm okay. I'm not drained, but I'm really not in the best place either. But I'm smiling here and there, and but I'm kind of just at this middle ground. Nothing's really exciting and nothing's really bad. I'm just here. With 10 being at the top of this bright orange light, and you're just feeling absolutely charged up. You're feeling like the sun is walking in your body itself. And your joys and your passions are just completely aligned with your values and how you want to show up in the world. I want you to just consider this number, 1 through 10. Relax your shoulders, remain closed. See if you can feel any shifts in your body already without even moving in. See if you can feel the electricity or the jolting through your fingers. And now I want you to just begin by pushing your belly open. Notice that awkwardness, and then begin your inhale through your nose, 7 seconds breathing up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 7 seconds. Just let the air escape. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bringing the energy back up. Nice and slow. Follow your pace. All that oxygen going straight in through your nose. As you begin to 7-second exhale, just open your mouth and allow the air to escape. Don't force. As you notice the micro shifts in your body, your attitude, and your mood. 7-second inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you begin to exhale. And now, for a second, I would like for you to just follow me. So the next time I rise up, next time I rise down, I'm going to shift my weight on my right foot. Left foot rise. One step over to the left. Push the energy out. All the negative energy that don't belong. My wrist drop. I'm bringing the breath. Here's my inhale to my nose. Pushing the bad energy out. I'm inhaling all the things that are aligned with what brings me joy. We're going to do 3 on the left. We're going to do 3 on the right. We'll let this flow. And I want you to just keep this orange light in mind. And I want you to notice how it charges slowly. So I'll start from the center. 1 time in the center as I bring all my weight to my right foot. My left foot begins to rise. I push the negative energy out of my body. Everything that I refuse to forgive. This is my inhale as I rise back. I'll push forward. My inhale as I rise back. And I push forward. Good. And now I come back to the center. Put the weight back on the right foot. Stand tall, and this is your exhale going down the middle. We're going to go right over to the right side as we inhale. Shift the weight to your left foot now. Right foot rises. And switch sides. I want you to notice the tension in your body beginning to dissipate. Notice the calmness that you feel over your body as you push out all the negativity, all the negative energies and negative vibes. And you inhale everything that's positive for you. Take this at your pace. You don't need to follow me precisely. As I shift this weight coming back, inhale through the nose, foot rises, and I'm pushing it back down the center. Now I would like for you to just put your hands and make a cup within each other. Close your eyes in this moment if you feel comfortable. Relax your jaw. And I want you to imagine that orange light, the light of relationships, the light that brings me joy, the light that allows me to be creative and express my passion. And I want you to ask yourself from 1 to 10, is that number lower or higher? Do you feel a shift? Has your heart rate changed? As you release all tension from your jaw and your face. And when you're ready, you can return to the room. All right. Anybody want to share where their number started and where it went to? And if it changed at all, which it doesn't have to.
Is it better for the number to go up or down?
I've had somebody do this for me, and there was a time when it went up and down.
I started at 7 and it went to 3.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. What that kind of tells me from the beginning is like, kind of again, like I was saying, the image that we like to attach to, like everybody wants to be charged. Like just let's just start there. Like everybody wants to have, let's say, money in their bank, right? But it may not be the exact amount reflecting what we desire. So like I would want this to be charged, but it might be lower than it actually is. Or what are your thoughts?
I lost you for a second.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was saying like this could be, if it was started at a 7 and then it went to a 3, like what I was talking about before, you know, with this chakra point, especially talking about our joy and what brings creativity and passion in our life, you know, everybody would want to believe that the things that they're doing, let's say travel, or, you know, I'm getting all these women, or, you know, I got mad money in my bank, whatever. I would love to believe that, let's say, for example, that those are the things bringing me joy. But that could be my attachment to the image of what that joy looks like, which could be somebody else's version of success. Versus when you had a moment to tap into your body, maybe you recognize, damn, this isn't as accurate to what I want it, or what I wish that it was, or I desired for it to be. Which could be, it could be a signal. It could be something completely different. It could be something completely different at the same time. But that was just like what kind of like first came to my mind about what that could mean, because that happened to me. That specifically is an example that happened to me when I had a chakra charging with another guy. And that's what I recognized. I recognized that I wished my number was higher. But then when I had the moment to flow and embody that through movement and through the breath, I recognized, damn, my number is not as high as I wished. It's what I wanted it to be, but it wasn't what it objectively was. Which again is not necessarily a bad thing, because, you know, this is part of the start, right? Like when we don't know something is off balance, there's no reason to make any adjustments. You know, it's like, if I didn't know it was up or down, like I got no reason to do something different. I'm going to keep going with the way I know. And this is where some of the words that I was using intentionally was, you know, to basically see if what brings you joy is actually in alignment with what you value. You know, what are the passionate adventures that you're taking, whether in your business or in your love life or in your creative projects? Are they aligned with you, or is it something where one of these relationships, all right, we're talking about this relationship chakra, where one of these relationships gave you a different image, or you adopted through absorption their image? Like I know I have a Scorpio ascendant. I think Jay, you have some Scorpio placements in you, and Amanda as well. I know Scorpio specifically has the very clear ability to basically be drained by others by allowing healing to come from themselves by attaching to other people's pain and attaching to other people's emotions, especially in like sexual encounters, right? Like sex is one of the easiest ways to transfer this energy. It's one of the easiest ways to abuse the energy as well, but it's also one of the easiest and the strongest ways to charge the energy. So this is the magic as well. Like it doesn't just take, like if you have sexual intercourse, let's say, and you don't actually ejaculate, you will charge up. Like it now becomes, instead of, let's say, the man dumping his life force energy into the woman and the woman then being charged up, if the man, let's just say, did not actually ejaculate, they had sex, it was passionate, it was beautiful, but it didn't ejaculate, now the woman becomes a container that helps you to recharge your energy. Now the key is, it's like, did you or did you not ejaculate too? Like that's a whole other battle. And I'm not gonna say that's easy, that also takes practice. It takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. It more so, it takes discipline. But I think the beauty behind that one is, and I've been practicing a lot with partners, like tell your partner, tell your partner up front, like, look, I actually don't want to ejaculate. I do want to have sex with you. I do want to make love. I do want to connect. However, I don't want to ejaculate. And honestly, in the first couple of times, you probably still will. However, you will notice a tremendous difference. I promise you, I swear to God, you'll notice a tremendous difference with the being non-goal orientated of, look, this is going to be the end, rather, look, I'm not trying to let this be the end, but if it happens, it happens. You'll notice a major shift in your energy and even in your personal power, because this is one of the chakra points that begins to work into our personal power. With the yellow one being next up the line, when we kind of like, they work in order. Like you need the ground chakra to be grounded first. And then you need the sexual chakra energy to be balanced with your relationships. And that begins to feed into the solar plexus, is where our willpower actually is. That's where it is. That's where the willpower to push forward, to do this thing with clarity and ambition and vigor, but is also where power struggles happen too, on the opposite side. All right, cool. Anybody else that definitely want to share their numbers, feel free, drop in the chat. For now, I'm going to move to kind of give you a little update of today through numbers, and then a separate one through astrology. All right. So the number of today, actually, I did the math already. It's a 1-4. All right. And I have to show you, I have to break those two numbers up to tell you what the energy is working into. A 1 is really about like allowing yourself to explore more instinctively. All right. I say instinct to explore more instinctively. I'm going to type that. 1 is instinctive exploration. Now, this could legit be going to a new park that you've never been to. This could be taking a new adventure on a flight to somewhere you've never been to. But when you add the 4 now, it also talks about building. So building is like, it takes 4 legs for a table, right? Sure, you can make different ergonomic designs and say 3 legs, but classically, it takes 4 legs for a table to stand and to be stable without shaking, without rocking. And when we build on top of something, we want it to be sturdy. If you build a building, a brand new house, apartment complex, you do not want that to be shaking, all right? So what this says is, in the things that you're building in your life right now, and I know this is classically happening for a lot of people based off the energy that's happening. Everyone's looking for a little more structure, and everyone's recognizing that it's going to take a little bit more discipline in order for them to achieve the goals and the desires that they've set out for themselves. Even if you don't know what those goals and desires are, you're feeling like, damn, I got to get a little more together. I got to get a little more structured. I got to get a little more disciplined in order for me to start moving out of this stage into something new. Something new. This is back to the 1. And so what this is kind of saying is whatever instinctive explorations you take, recognize that it's going to help you travel into new territory, even just within yourself, within your motivations, within your personal power, and it will help you to build something sturdy and lasting. And today's the energy where it's like, this is supporting you. So any efforts you put towards something new, or how you're going to take a new direction in something you're currently building, right? You could be building a family right now, but you keep having headaches and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I can't figure this out. Like, try a new route and it's probably going to help you to build. Try a new route. Try something and then rely on your instinct. This is the key. Like, so this is not something to think about, right? This is not something to, this is not an equation. Like, I know both of you two are Libras. That's why I'm now saying this. This is not an equation, right? Libra is the opposite of Aries. And so Aries, which is this full moon, this workshop you're in, is it is number one. It's the first zodiac. So it's all about instinct. It's all about instinct. Sometimes that instinct leads you somewhere you probably didn't want to be. However, it's also still instinctive where it gets itself into the next spot. But that forward motion allowed it to even get to the next spot rather than getting stuck in the thought. All right. So try not to get stuck in your thoughts on a day like this and allow the instinct to say, look, take a left. But my house is to the right. Instinct saying, take a left, take a left. You'll get back to the house. You'll find a way, but it's going to bring you something that's going to help you build brand new steps into your identity, you know, how you identify with yourself. And so the 1 and the 4 now equates obviously to 5. And with those two energies as your guide, as your map, the 5 is really all about big change. Now, I don't know if you've been feeling it. I'm actually positive you have, and I'll tell you why next. There's been like this nervous gut feeling almost, like maybe even like a quiver in your heart or like something in your gut, just like, damn, like something big is about to shift. This is the energy of a 5, first off. 5 is all about major shifts, major changes. I'm looking right now and I see a 1-4 on my, it's 41, 941. And so what this requires is surrender, all right? So when these big changes happen, this is the moment to surrender. This is the moment to kind of be like, look, there's something bigger operating here that I have no control over. And basically trying to have control over whatever these big changes are going to cause you more stress. They're going to cause you more anxiety. It's going to make your heart palpate. And it's going to make you feel like, what the fuck? And I'll be honest, I've been in that energy. Like I've been overthinking. Like I'm like, my brain has been hurting of how much I've been thinking lately. And I'm like, I need to chill out. Like I'm trying to I like reading the book and I'm like, okay, take a walk and like where? I'm like, I don't care. Just go outside and walk, bro, because I feel like I'm gonna lose it a little bit. But it's because I know that there's something major changing in my life, especially because one, I am in Aries and the moon for me is in Aries and my Mercury is in Aries. So this full moon has a very big change on me, but I will also say on Libras. I would say the second most person is going to be Libras. Other than that, it's going to be Capricorn and Cancer. Understanding that this has nothing to do with your main sun sign placement, although it does as well, but it's all of your placements. Any Libra, any Aries, any Capricorn, any Cancer you have, all those signs are being forced to step into a new brave expression, which is requiring a new structure, back to the 4, which is requiring us to use our instincts to explore new avenues of what structures are just not working, what structures are working, and I should just put more effort on. And Jay, you talked about that when you first got in the call about the Instagram. I'm like, look, like, you know, structurally, you're like, I need to promote some of this a little bit more and show people I need to take a new route, because for the last 2 years, you weren't on the route of promoting yourself and you found different ways to take in business. But now it's like there's a requirement and you feel like, damn, I need to try something different. I need to follow my instinct. Your instincts seems to be leading you to posting more. So that's that from a numerology standpoint. From an astrological standpoint, the reason I say I know everybody's feeling it and everybody's super sensitive with energies right now, the moon is currently before Aries, it's in Pisces. And what does that mean? That means you might honestly be feeling like a supreme sensitivity and like you're like hyper aware and perceptive of everything in your surroundings. You're like feeling energies that's unseen. It's not really in your like tangible right next to you, but you may also in these moments with Pisces and the moon kind of feeling insecure. There's probably some insecurities rising, and you may notice in certain areas of life, you're like, look, I'd rather be passive right now. I'd rather like not make a decision. I'd rather just wait to see what happens and let this thing play out. But check in with that. Check in with the insecurity, because Pisces is very classic and is known for escapism. So how you kind of work with this energy on a positive note is really to be compassionate with other people. It's a really positive Pisces trait. It has the ability to be compassionate for other people and for their circumstances, and to not judge and look at their story, look at your story and everybody's story and their surroundings, and just take them all in for what they are rather than trying to manipulate it. That's the positive side of it. And other than that, we're looking at this is a time where, and this happened actually a month ago, this is a time where you want to consider what are your spiritual practices. Like, and that could be anything. That could legit be taking a walk. It's a good time to consider what is going to be my spiritual practices, because right now I can promise you, we're getting ready to all go through a very, very big shift, and we're all getting ready to go into a very dark phase of our life. And I'm going to say that for the next 4 to 5 months. And there's no way I can put that any simpler, quite frankly. Like, this is going to be a moment where we're going to be forced to introspect. We're going to be forced to be alone a little bit more. And we're going to be forced to look at some of our habits, especially next month with that Scorpio moon with me. Like, you're going to be dissecting the hell out of your hidden motivations and the motivations of other people. You're going to start recognizing where betrayal lies in your life. And, you know, the best I can do is just let you know that this is part of what's going to happen. Like, whether you want to, you can say no, you can be like, no, I don't want that. Like, because a little bit of me myself, I'm looking at like what's going forward, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting a little scared. If I'm being honest. I'm a little scared. I'm like, damn, like I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what's about to change. It scares me a little bit, but I also know it's the direction I'm supposed to go. So things are gonna be a little dark. Things are gonna be a little gloomy. You might feel a little melancholic lately. This is a time, especially with this Pisces and the moon, to take the day for being bored. That may sound funny, but create like on your calendar today some time to be bored, and you will benefit tremendously, because in that time of boredom, Pisces is linked to our pineal gland as well, which is our imagination, and it's also linked to our feet. So one of the best ways you can access your imagination right now is to put your feet either in the ocean. Jay, I know you did this morning. You put your feet in the ocean, put your feet in a pond, put it in a lake, or at bare minimum, put it in dirt, put it in grass, put it on nature. And if you do those things, you put your feet today, because after today, the moon leaves, it leaves out of Pisces. You have an extended imagination right now. You have an extended ability to see more possibilities that are basically impossible today. One of the best ways I think you can really use this energy is to put your feet in the ground, in the water, or in the dirt, or in the grass, and be bored. Like, create bored time. Don't do it and be like on your phone the whole time while you're doing it, because then you're distracting your imagination, right? You're viewing somebody else's imagination of whatever post they put up, how they imagine this perfect picture or whatever. So you're not tapping into your own imagination. You're going to absorb, because Pisces, the water sign, has the ability to absorb other people's feelings and their thoughts. So if you're viewing other shit, you're going to be absorbing them as well. So that's that. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to give you the next breathing exercise. We're going to do 2 more breathing exercises. And this one's simpler. You don't have to go anywhere, all right? I want you to, I got to think about this. Okay. So these 2 fingers, your middle finger, your index finger, I want you to put them on your forehead, kind of right where that Pisces third eye will be. I want you to put your thumb on your nostril. I want you to put your ring finger on your nostril. Okay, now open so you can breathe. Just so you knew where the positions were going to be. Now we're going to start, this ring finger is going to stay open. All right, we're going to start here. We're going to put these 2 fingers here. I want you to take an inhale only through your left nose for 7 seconds. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Close that nose, open your thumb, and exhale. 3, 2, 1. Close your thumb, open your ring, and inhale. Oh shit, I fucked that up. I'm sorry. We're gonna inhale anyways. Close the ring, exhale through your nostril. And we're gonna inhale again from the thumb nostril. Close the nostril, open the ring, now we exhale. All right, that's one full sequence. We'll go 2 more times. We're going to inhale here. Soft and slow. Close it. Exhale through the thumb. Inhale through the thumb. Close it. Exhale through the ring finger. Good. Last one. Notice the difference in your body. Notice the shift. We're going to take our inhale now for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch over and exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 7, 1. Close the nostril, exhale, let the air escape for 7. Beautiful. When you're ready, you can kind of just come back to the room, and I want you to just notice the shift. Notice how connected you feel, how much calmer you got. So quick. I mean, it was only 40 seconds. And I can tell you what you just did. You just connected your left brain to your right brain, and you put it in unison. You literally connected your left brain and your right brain. Left brain being more about the chaos associated with the feminine energy. Really good for healing, being creative, for nurturing, for holding, for making you feel loved. And the right brain, the structure, the discipline, the clarity, the focus, to be the container for all that chaos energy, all that feminine, positive energy that sits in both of us. It sits in all of us, right? But you even notice a shift in my voice, and I didn't even get to do the breaths at the same with you while I was counting. And it's just like, whoa. Anybody want to share how you feel right now in the moment?
I definitely feel more awake.
Dope. Yeah, because you're 6 in the morning over there, right?
Yeah, definitely feel wide awake.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you for sharing. So now I'm gonna bring you your personal updates. Let me ask you this: do all of you know your rising sign? I know Amanda does. I know you know your sun sign.
Sagittarius rising.
Okay, I think I remember that as well. I'm gonna try to give you all a mini update for this particular moon. All right. So you're a Leo beyond that, Sade?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now I gotta do the math. 1 second. So Aries is 7th house. Taurus. 8th house. 6th house. Okay, so Libra right now with this moon in the Aries, you're going through a 1st house transit. So Libra, what does that mean? That means that right now you're coming into illumination of who you are. It's just that simple. Like you're coming into illumination, Libra specifically, of who you are. All right, how you want to identify with yourself. You're no longer allowing identity politics to shape you, to control you, to make you feel a certain way. When I say identity politics, what do I mean? I'll give you an example. So like, super simple example. I'm a Black guy, all right? Identity politics and how that can restrain me or restrict me will say, Pernell, you can't raise your voice because if I do, people will be afraid. Part identity politics, that will be somewhere deep in my mind, or that I can't express aggression or anger or rage because I'm already a little bit more handicapped and I'm more likely to go to jail, even if I was just having an emotion. That could be something in my own mind that has actually in different areas of my life held me back, like legit, even in relationships, especially any interracial, why can I say this word? especially any interracial relationship, identity politics for me has found ways to not allow me to step into fully who I am, because I'm always worried about what the consequence might be of my actions, not because I'm having a normal human reaction or emotion, but because of the skin color that I have. My skin color is a part of my identity. So that's just to give like an example where Libra specifically, you're going through a first house transit of identity. So you're stepping into a new bold form of who you are. And you're no longer letting codependency to control and to rule you. You're no longer allowing people to manipulate you, even also for your kindness, right? Because like people be trying to fuck around with Libras as if they're not really kind people. Like they're fucking kind. Like they're really generous, honest people. They really care about fairness and justice and balance. And so right now you're taking the balance back by stepping into your identity. Now you're saying, look, like, you know what? I know who I am, and if this has come to illumination for me. And so I'm not going to continue to self-sacrifice myself in order for you to feel better or for the balance to be created, but for minds to be destroyed. That's what Libra is going through in this full moon. And you're going to feel it all for the next 3 days very strong. It's going to be like, damn, like, you know what? I didn't recognize how well I've learned how to step into myself. So then it will go. I'm sorry, I'm having a blank out because I actually should have did this a little sooner. I knew it for Aries. I knew it for Libra because it's the opposite. So now we're going, we have a Sagittarius here. We have a Scorpio here. All right, so Scorpio, you're going through second house. All right, Scorpio specifically. Jay, what's your rising sign? You're on mute, homie.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, you have that CoStar app, no?
Yeah. Well, okay.
It should probably say ASC or ASC. It should be like whatever says whatever's in the first house. I would imagine. Do I have you on CoStar? Are you my friend?
Yeah.
All right, I'll check yours in a second. So for now, I don't think you're a Scorpio rising, but I'm pretty sure you have Scorpio in your chart, but it's different. So what I'm going to do now is say, okay, Scorpio, you're going through second house. So right now, what's being illuminated for you? Oh shit, it's money, actually. So you're talking now, not the money per se, but more in the space of resources, all right? It may not be the money specifically, but it's your self-worth, which is completely a determinant of how much money you do or you do not make, all right? It's your self-worth. So the more you value yourself, the more resources you're gonna have. And right now, what Aries Full Moon energy, what's beautiful is, starting from tomorrow, there are about 4 different planets that are gonna be direct. They're leaving their space of being slow and making us introspect and go back and be, for the last 4 months, we've been like, the way I can explain this, what happened to the planets is like, imagine there's these 4 planets, and you have these horses behind a gate that's ready to race, but the horses are already running, but they're running against this gate. So they can't, all their horsepower doesn't even matter. They're these super strong, powerful, beautiful creatures that love to run wild and run free. But right now, there's this gate, and they're actually running in place. Tomorrow marks the day where all of that is, I'm talking like 4 planets, the gate's gonna lift. So the beauty about this is for Scorpio specifically, this next season is gonna be magic for you. First off, Scorpio season is only in like a week or so, and then you're gonna have a Mars and Scorpio transit as well. So you're gonna start to finally feel like you can pursue the things that you actually desire. You're gonna start to finally feel back in your power, because you've been really like, Scorpio's been shitted on for a little bit, and they kind of always are in some capacity. Like they're built to do it, but I really foresee your wins are coming, and this Aries full moon is the time for you to be bold and be courageous and step into your worth, quite frankly, This is what's being activated and illuminated for you. And you pretty much already have the clear map of what kind of secure. The question now for Scorpio is, what's going to make me feel secure? Like, what brings me security? And that will begin to bring you your resources. As you find what structures and disciplines you need and what areas of your life you need to be bold and courageous and a little bit more instinctive, a little bit more like, I'm doing that. That's the way I'm going. And not to overthink it, but to recognize this is what I desire. This is how you're gonna win. Sagittarius, right now for you, this is side A, you're looking at a third house, which is a house of like your local community, your local environment. So now I would imagine, I think you just moved to a new place. So this would probably be a good thing. This is a good time to start communicating and being more expressive, and maybe even allow yourself to be a little bit more wild, if you will. What wild means is your own personal interpretation. But wild could just be like, look, if you naturally know you stay in the home, wild could literally just be stepping outside and going like to this. This is a prime example. Like this could be you stepping out. Like, look, I'm gonna come out here and allow myself to be a little more expressive and allow myself to be a little bit more fiery and to show that fire and to use my voice, or if not my voice, any form of communication, which is now writing. This could be blogging. This could be reading. This can be learning something new. This can literally be educating yourself on something new in the time frame. This can be, if you're in the space of business for Sagittarius, this could be making sales. All right, you may find yourself being more expressive with sales, or even just again in your local environment, your local community. And that's kind of what's being illuminated to you, that it's like it's time to start using your voice, or it's time to start communicating. Because again, body language is communication, right? So you could even just not even talk and be more expressive with your body language. Communication is very broad. So it's not just talking, you know, but I think it's time to you're stepping into like recognizing, damn, I need to speak up. And this, especially because it's the Aries Full Moon, it probably means I need to speak up for myself. I need to speak up for myself and the desires that I crave. Like whatever I desire, I should start speaking up and actually pursuing that. Allow my instinct to take over it and begin to pursue that with passion. With passion is the key word, with enthusiasm. All right, Jay, let me see if I got you. Did that resonate, Sade? And
Definitely. And I'm
what you say? I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It definitely did. Definitely. This is me stepping out, coming on this chat. So I turn on my camera to step out more.
Absolutely. That makes me excited to hear. You know, because in this, use your imagination. Jay, I'm looking for you now. And it's big. You know, when you step out, it's like, you know, the thing is, with the third house for you, a lot of what it is actually not being very specific on any one thing. Like this doesn't, you stepping out on this platform, joining us on this live, this doesn't have to be that one thing, right? Like it may be something completely in the opposite direction, because the number 3 is all about movement. So it's like, all it's telling you is to start moving, like start moving. Yeah, like, and it's not stuck to any idea or any ideal. It's pretty curious. So it's like, allow yourself to be curious. Like, doesn't have to be something you are like, yes, this is a hell yes, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, I got some friends that are like, it's either a hell yes or it's a hell no. But the third house specifically is kind of like, look, it's just curiosity. Like, I'm just curious. So I'll explore that.
I feel that one for sure.
Yeah. All right, Jay, let me see. I don't think I have you on CoStar, Jay. I think I had you on, I'll tell you what.
So I don't know. I'll read it to you, and you can tell. It says Sun in Libra, Moon in Cancer, Ascendant in Capricorn.
Done. Right
Mercury
there.
in Libra.
Right there.
Okay.
Ascendant.
Okay.
All right. So Capricorn, perfect. It's right after Sagittarius. All right, Jay, you're looking at, personally for you, for Capricorns, you're looking at the 4th house. All right. So the 4th house is now basically saying it's time to go inward. You might find yourself really, again, full moon, the Aries full moon is like, look, it's illumination. It's like, here are these aspects of my life that were kind of tucked away. And so that stuff comes to light. And 4th house is all about the private life, and it's about the family, and even into ancestors, okay? even into your ancestors, your family, what you consider your roots. And it's like, look, there are some things that are coming up from your roots that are probably helping you understand what about your identity has been held back because of your connection to the roots. That's more likely what's coming into full understanding for you. What about your identity have you attached to that, or even your family or your roots, and how you identify with your private life, how your private life was shaped, potentially again through family, and in what way is it holding you back now? In what ways is it like are you the one that didn't want to be posting, let's just say, on Instagram, or living in the US, or is like this could be a lot of things, but it has something to do with your home. Like, are you traveling a lot, and are you traveling because you're running from something, or are you traveling because you really just enjoy this, or your family was like, nah, the travel is for the devil, or some shit like that. Like it can go any which way, but generally it's like something around your roots, how your ancestors have behaved, or even the legacy that they've created for you to be able to do what you do. This doesn't have to be a negative thing either. Or at bare minimum, like the darker parts of your life, like more so like what's coming to light is an understanding of, even who are you when you're just sitting there by yourself and nobody's around you. Like, who are you? And maybe also is what it's saying is, in what ways do you let your public reputation or your public image to be held back from trying to explore a new image? Like maybe even a new way of presenting yourself, a new way of showing up on the grand stage, which is going to start internally and that's going to reflect externally. So it's not going to be an external end. This one's going to be specifically for you internally. What has come to light for you that's going to externally allow you to shine brighter and take new and instinctive ventures and build structure, build legacy in your way, the way you see fit, probably different than the way your family sees what a legacy looks like.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's kind of happening for Capricorn. So that's everybody. That's everybody here. Oh, I gotta get Leo. So Capricorn's 4. That means 5 is 1 second. 5 is Aquarius, which means 11 is Leo. All right, Sade. So Leo, for the other side of Leo, this is kind of what you're looking at. Wow, this is actually heavy. Okay, so you're looking at it's the friends, the networks, and the connections that you're not necessarily in visible contact with, but who is probably supporting you. You're probably starting to recognize, you come into illumination, like that there are more people supporting you than maybe you would have even liked to believe. But again, they're not the people that's like in your face, right? Like, so right now you can see all 4 of us. It won't be these people. It'll be more people like kind of like in your extended network, in your extended friend circle, who actually are sending you good wishes out, but they probably didn't text you, right? They probably didn't actually text you. They probably didn't send you a message. You probably don't even know that they're supporting you. But people in your extended network and your colleagues and your friends and your social circles, they actually are looking at you right now and you're shining. They see you shining in a way. They might really be sending you big blessings. They're starting to fully recognize, I would say even like the glow up. They will recognize like, look, like there's probably things happening in life, but they, in the background, they see the glow up. And what this says for the 11th house in this transit is like, how can you potentially step into, maybe taking a less self-centered approach to thinking that maybe everybody is not really supporting you, that people are against you somehow, some way, and check in with like what part of your life is being illuminated. Again, you can specifically find this for yourself if you looked in your chart for where Aries lies, because Aries is wherever Aries is in your chart is where it's going to be most illuminated. However, you being a Leo, it may say something like, maybe even what ways it may be revealing to you, what ways may have you even been the boss of your groups, of your friend circle, like where the irony of this is Leo in this particular place may not see themselves like that, but other people might see it like that. Like the Leo itself might not see itself as the role model within his groups and his community and his friends, his colleagues, his network, but other people are also seeing like that. So Aries will, this Aries Full Moon will kind of say, look, like maybe even be a little more bold in your expression and recognize what other people recognize, even if you don't see it for yourself. Sweet. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna do the next breathing technique now. I'm gonna do the next one here, and I'm gonna get the hell out the sun. This thing is cooking, your boy. Cooking over here. Thank God, my titty sweating. All right, here we go. All right. And my laptop was over here. Okay, so here's your third breathing technique as we get closer to the end now. All right. So have any of you heard of the Wim Hof method? So we're gonna focus on that breath. We're not gonna be getting in any ice baths or anything, so don't worry. But we're gonna aim to take 20 breaths. Standardly, I think it's 40, and 40 has an actually significant number. It also takes a tremendous long time to do that. And I'm gonna do 2 rounds of the 20 instead. More so to give you the know-how. And then, you know, you continue doing it on your own, you do it on your own. I would even recommend do some of these various ones, recognize how quickly they got you centered. So as I inhale, this one is different. It's not through the nose at all. This one's only through the mouth. So as I inhale, I'm gonna take a big, like, really, I want you to exaggerate your inhale. I want you to literally be like, now the key with this is I am allowing half of the air to escape, all right? So if I try to quantify this, if I'm inhaling 70%, I want only 35% of the exhale to come back out. And I'm inhaling 70, only 35 exhales. 70. So notice the exhale is kind of silent. Like you don't really hear me exhaling at all. You only hear the inhale through my mouth, and then I'm letting back out half of that air. And what this is going to do is it's basically going to create, it's going to allow your oxygen to have some chemical reaction. I'll save the extra science for the moment. It's going to have a chemical reaction in the way that your oxygen is going to just get fueled. It's basically just like free fuel for the oxygen that you already have, but it's going to take it less from a voluntary standpoint, and you're going to force it to work for you. So instead of it just keeping you alive and breathing just because you're human and that happens automatically, what we're doing is we're creating a different balance of what that oxygen looks like by adding like the dioxide to it. And it's going to give you clarity. So you literally, your mind, your mental space is gonna be less foggy, it's gonna be more clear. All right. So when I get to the end of the 20, this is what we're going to do. On the last breath, I'll let you know, and I'll say it during it as well. We're going to exhale all the way, and it's gonna kind of be where you just, and then you're just gonna hold your breath. At the end, this is kind of the moment where today we won't focus on like how long can you hold your breath after, but what you'll notice naturally is each time you do it, you'll be able to hold your breath for a significant time longer. Like literally, like you'll be able to sit underwater. I think one guy did it for, I don't even know, like 22 hours, something ridiculous. Like he didn't need to breathe for 22 hours, or something crazy. Now, obviously he trained himself for a very long time to do that, but it just begins to show you the capabilities. All right. So we're gonna do these 20 breaths. All right. So I'm gonna have you literally just breathe in the first one. Now you just hold your nose, hold your breath for as long as you can. You're gonna feel the urge, keep holding your breath. You're gonna feel the urge of like, I can't breathe, I gotta let go. You can get beyond that point. And once you do, you're gonna notice this blank space will come. You'll realize, oh wow, I could not breathe right now. But when you're ready, you feel like you need to, don't pass out, just open your breath. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so we're gonna do it one more time. Now that you kind of got the rhythm of it, it makes it simpler on that last part. And you're gonna notice you're more likely than not gonna be able to hold your breath significantly longer. But before we do that, I want you to notice the change of state. Just take an observation of your own body right now, of your own mind, what you feel, what you don't feel. Check in with the difference from when you got on the call this morning to where you are now. All right, here we go. We're gonna do our second round, same thing, 20 breaths. Was there any questions before I move to the next one? Did it all make sense? Trying to take in double what you're putting out?
Is it better to stand up?
No, not necessarily. Like if you're like sitting in like an Indian pose, this is kind of classically how it happens. Yeah, no. All right, here we go. Good question. 3, 2, 1. You may notice it helps to close your eyes. 5 more breaths. Exhale all that air and then plug your nose. And this is a moment where I recommend just let your eyes close and don't count, don't focus on anything. Just resist that urge to take your first breath. All right, check in again with your body.
You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, my bad. It looks like it kicked me out for a second. But just check in again with your body. Thank you, Jake. And just notice the shift. Just observe. Do you feel more clear? Do you feel focused? Do you feel more love? Do you feel a tingle? Do you feel your heart opening? Do you feel prepared and ready to forgive? Do you feel nothing? Blank.
Hey, but I need to go to sleep.
Oh,
That's how I feel.
I hear that, because you usually say you pulled it up all night, especially if you pulled the all-nighter and you just did these type of breaths. Right now, whatever was nervous energy inside of you is probably less, and it's like it's operating a different system, more like your parasympathetic, which will make you feel rested. And if you're already tired, it's like yeah, it's time to go to sleep, like kind of knock out. So you should sleep really well. Uh-oh. Did I freeze you guys?
Do you do this every day?
Not each one of these, but I do something every day. I do breathe intentionally every day. I don't always do the Wim Hof. I don't always do the switching, which is combining your left brain and your right brain. I think in the beginning, I don't know what we did in the beginning. Oh, the Tai Chi, bringing it here. So every day I do something. I can't say I'm devout to any one thing, but I try to ask myself more so like, what do I need today? And sometimes that's a movement breathing exercise. Sometimes that is just sitting still in the classic way you think. Sometimes, a lot of times I focus, like when things are really, really bad for me, or my mind is really, really chaotic, generally I go to something called the Ujjayi breath first. We haven't did that today, but it's like, it makes this weird, awkward, itchy noise in your throat. And so when you inhale, wait 1 second, that was awkward already. Like pretty much instantly, I can get like maximum, I just let it go quickly, but almost instantly, I can get like maximum oxygen to my brain, like very, very quickly. Because I can tell you, my brain has the capacity to move very, very fast and think very, very fast and have too many thoughts and overthink shit, like a lot of us. But I know I'm definitely designed like that. So that one is hard to explain, which is why I didn't do it for you guys today, because it took me a long time to learn it myself. But it's like I'm inhaling, but I'm inhaling through the throat instead. So like not even necessarily from my nose, I'm inhaling from my throat, and it makes this scratchy throat noise, like.
Wow.
And it's like a mountain breathing technique that people would do, I think, at the high altitude of the mountain, because the oxygen in the air is very different up there. And it can be very cold too, and there's a lot of elements. And so what it can do is it can also heat your body up really, really fast. So if I was ever freezing cold and let's say I was wet in the rain, which happens in the city that I live in, it rains all the time. Or if I was just freezing cold from hypothermia, I could do that breath and literally begin to heat my body from the inside. But I do that one a lot, I think, because it doesn't require me to sit and do it for 45 minutes. If I did, then I'd probably be like a fucking monk and feel all like, but I don't. I don't. But there's so many, I think the thing is when you learn a couple, you find which ones work for you, and you allow it to be more intuitive of which ones you use and when you use it. So breathing wise, everything pretty much has come to a wrap. What I want to do is the last thing is tell you moving forward. I typed it in the chat, if you'll be in chat box, so you can always just watch this video. I think it might be the simplest way, so I don't have to explain too much on it. The one that says Scorpio new moon, forgive and transform. I can tell you right now that you're working towards this. There are going to be a lot of closings in your life coming in the next couple of days. Honestly, it's probably already happening. And me saying it out loud, you probably already recognize what things seem to be closing in your life. And it has a lot with this particular moon to do with relationships, business relationships, platonic friendships, and romantic interests. Each one of those things are right now kind of going through closings. And if not just closings, evolutions. So if you're not, quote unquote, losing somebody like physically, what is dying and going away are the habits in that relationship and in that dynamic that were just out of balance. Any dynamic that was out of balance, that shit is finally closing. It's time to, and this full moon, you have a lot of energy that's supporting you to do so. It's telling you, look, be bold, be daring, step into the needs and the desires that you know you have, but at the same time, do it with compassion, right? Even if you got to kick somebody out of your life, or even if the person is staying in your life, you need to be very bold and stand in your power. this is the time to stand in your power, but it also says to do it with compassion. Like it doesn't have to happen without tact, without diplomacy, without being fair. Yeah. Yeah. This is all happening. And then following with that next one, November 4th, what you'll notice of that one is it's going to help you to understand, it's going to help you to see the deeper layers beyond the superficial of, you know, what do you truly, truly desire? Like truly, what do you desire? And you're going to have a focus to pursue those desires around that November 4th like you have never had before, all year. You haven't had all year. You're going to just feel like, look, this is what I want, this is what I need, and I'm fixed, I'm going to get it. And you're going to have the strategy to make it happen. The only thing is you're going to learn that in order to do it, there's going to be something required. It's going to require forgiveness, and it's going to require transformation. When I say transformation, what I mean specifically is that some habit of yours, some part of your subconscious programming needs to be transformed. More likely something you see as painful, something you see as traumatic, something you see as like you're attached to another something, a thing, a drug, a person, a place, a thing, whatever. Whatever those things are that you're attached to that's bringing you a lot of pain, it's a time in that November 4th to actually transform it, like bring it from that place of just like icky, dark, gloomy shit to like something that can be used and turned into light, basically, like something that can be literally turned and used into light. That is that November 4th. It's a new moon, which means these things aren't coming into illumination for you like today and up in 3 days from now, the full moon. The new moon is like set new intention, which 6 months later, the intentions you set on the 4th will then come into light. The reason I put this up now is because of in 3 days, this Aries Full Moon is coming up. The reason I put this up now is it's saying, look, never before have you been able to come into a completion of your character, like of who you are, than right now. Like there's already been plenty of instances in your life where you recognize, damn, like this is not right, or this is unbalanced, or this isn't fair. And this moon specifically is telling us, do what you need to do to make it fair. Do what you need to do to make it fair, and do it boldly, and do it with passion. Right now, the thing is like, if something's not bringing you passion, if something's not bringing you joy, you got to check in with like, how much energy does it deserve in your life right now? If it's not bringing you passion, it's not bringing you joy, you're not enthusiastic about it, you just feel like, you're dragging your feet along, recognize that this whole workshop was partially about the sacral chakra, and it's like, it's telling you that like, shit's out of balance. Something with your actions are not aligned, and it's requiring you to balance these things out. It's requiring you to put a little more structure and discipline in your life, and whatever areas you need, and you are being helped with that right now. Energetically, you're being helped to balance the things that are not in structure. The downside of this is there's a lot of tension that's going to come with everything that I just said. It's not going to be simple. I'll be honest. There's going to be a lot of tension on basically holding the things that we felt we wanted, or we felt we needed, or we felt it was a desire. But as we align, we recognize maybe this was my desire, but it was just a little bit different than I thought. Or maybe I just really don't want this, like, period. Or maybe I want this, but we need new terms and conditions, which is also the bigger one. I think it's the harder option. Sometimes when it's like, no, this actually is for you, but the terms and the conditions are misaligned. And there's going to be some tough conversations within your partnerships, business, romantic, platonic, in order to get it aligned, to get it tuned in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion as I ask you one last question. All right, we asked you about your small wins earlier. What's your big win? You know, what are you celebrating? What's a really, really big win in your life and I'll kind of lead it off to give you some time to think about it. You know, a really big win in my life is that, again, I'm also stepping into the identity of my character. And part of my character is to teach primarily the things that I learned in these different odd ass countries to help other people become self-healers, like to be able to heal themselves, right? Like today we went through 3 different forms of breath work, right? And we did this for a very short time frame. And you notice major shifts in your body. And it's not even like we did this on a daily habit. So like this for me is part of my big win. Being able to do something like that, and then being able to have people that care to participate in that, and deciding that it doesn't matter if all 7 people that literally booked to come here, it doesn't matter if all 7 came or not. And it also doesn't matter what the money is that's made behind it, but just to do it. That's my big win. That like I've made the commitment that like I'm going to keep them up. I'm going to do them no matter what. Who's next? Where we at? What's your big win?
I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
So I am transitioning from working 2 part-time jobs to 1 full-time job, making more money than both combined.
Dope.
And I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. And I bet during that process you had to make some strong steps. I bet you had to like do it like with like commitment and like bigger and be like, look, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've struggled the past 2 weeks because there's a part of me that really enjoys like the community of one of the part-time jobs, but I just know that it's not worth the energy investment for me and I have to let it go.
Yeah. I fully understand that. That makes sense. Cool. Who's next?
I think I'll pass.
All right,
Go
Jay.
pass.
There you go, Jay's birthday boy.
Well, I mean, like you just said, a big win is, you know, I made it another lap around the sun. So I'm very excited about that. And just with some of the things, getting out of my comfort zone. I know I wanted to, like you just said, you want to start teaching, and I'm thinking more about my impacts in the world and how I want to impact others. And so all this week I've been, you know, jotting ideas and things like that, coming up with names of different things that I would like to do and different avenues I would like to take. And I went to GoDaddy and made my domain my domain name official. You know, so I'm really happy about that, because instead of just having it written down on paper, I went and executed, and that's a really big thing. You know, you have ideas in your head, but then you don't execute. So, you know, I took the first step and I purchased my domain name, and I just started the different social media platforms. I already made sure I have the name. So, so it's across all the boards, and next part is just executing. So I feel like that's a big win, because I'm really about to get out of comfort zone. You know, I'm an introvert, and I don't, you know, I'm very private, but I know if I want to have impact, I'm gonna have to step out of that and, you know, do new things. So
man, I feel like giving you a full-on ovation, but I'm gonna do the clap part when all of us go right now. Right now.
No doubt.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. That's dope. And you just inspired me to make. I got some other steps I need to make when it comes to securing my domain, actually, and doing some steps over again. So thank you for that reminder. Sade, where you at?
No doubt.
I'm gonna pass.
Hey, I'm not mad at you, and that's okay too. That's okay. So notice what I had said when we first walked in, the energy of the day, right? You said the 1 and the 4, it was instinctive exploration. And the 4 was allowing that to be what we build our new ground on, or even improve our old ground on top of. So that ultimately was coming up to the 5, which is like, look, you know, everybody prepare for some big changes. You're gonna feel it. You already do. You just all admitted the big changes, right? Like Amanda did her big change, Jay talked about his. I told you a little bit about mine. Sade thought about hers, which is more than well enough. And, you know, so for now, considering this is actually, like I said, a celebration, like you're stepping into the identity of your character, I just want to dead ass, right before I press hang up, just pat yourself on the back, because fuck it. Like, you know what? You're here. My man Jay just made another birthday swing around. And, you know, everybody has did something scary lately. And everybody is going to continue to have to do something scary lately. And sometimes that just deserves a moment to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to throw some love on myself, you know? Like, so what I would like for you to consider, you know, last breath that I hang up is, how are you going to celebrate? You know, and that's not an answer that I'm looking for. That's something I just want you to have in your mind. Think about your big win, your small wins that we just talked about, even everything you just got between the breath work we did in this workshop, and just consider, you know, how am I going to actually treat myself and celebrate these wins? Because you deserve it. Like this Aries full moon marks the beginning of a brand new cycle. So we just hopped out of a long ass cycle from the last time it was here. Aries is the first zodiac sign. So this just ended something much bigger than I think many of us are aware of, but it doesn't matter because we're all going to feel it anyway. So yeah, just consider that, and deuce. I'll see you all soon. Big love. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye.
I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Ciao. Happy birthday, Jay.
Ciao.